I heard your story that at the start there was a lot of like with Stripe. I remember a client had paid me and it took it off her card, and it's like I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. I think it took a month before it arrived to me, and it's like, you know, it's strange. But I've heard of a lot of people similar to you. They kind of block them and send the money back. So you might just touch on Stripe and what's your thoughts on them now? Have they changed things?
I have a little bit of PTSD with Stripe, if I tell you honestly. So, okay. I don't know if you have watched, now that we're on podcast, it's cool to talk about it. I don't know if you've watched the Joe Rogan show with Mark Anderson, who's one of the co-founders of, one of the most famous VC firms, Anderson Horowitz. So what they talk about is Mark Anderson has been, first of all, an amazing investor. He's found so many great companies and helped them grow. So he's helped the society as a whole. But he's been investing in crypto startups for a while now, since 2017 probably. One of the few who actually saw it, And he goes to the Joe Rogan show. That was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and he says most of my crypto startup founders that we had uh, in our investment portfolio, most of them got debanked. So what is debanking? Is that basically, if they can't say crypto is illegal, for example, or they don't want to, get to the point where, they have a proper regulation or a law, what they do instead is they go to the banks and they tell them, hey, don't let any crypto company have a bank account with you. And then you're completely out of the system. What can you do? Because you need a bank, at least in the current system, right? And so the same way they went to payment processor, they went to advertisement platforms, and they told literally everyone, all the big companies, do not let anything that is related to crypto, uh, pass through. That's an effective way to cancel without having to regulate. But I think it's illegal, right? But that's what they did. And that's what we went through. So as a company, we launched in 2022, a little bit before the Luna crash. And by the way, when the Luna crash happened, our demand surged. You might wonder why. It's because actually some people did realize that FTX, Coinbase, etc., they're centralized wholesalers. They're not using the blockchain technology. They're not using the crypto technology. And so they stained the industry while actually they're just like um, they operate like a bank almost, right? Or a broker, but they are clearly a centralized entity. So it's completely unfair. So some people saw that and they were learning about DeFi and they wanted to get, on hardware wallet, their cryptos and own their funds, etc. So that's good. But once we wanted to grow, we needed, of course, a bank account. We needed to charge our customers. You know what they did? So the Stripe blocked around $30,000 of our initial, sales, and they refunded our initial customers without even asking them anything. And customers would send them emails copying us, hey, we want this charge to go through. We're happy with the service. And they wouldn't allow it. And they told us we're refunding them, but actually they kept the money and didn't refund them. It's complete. Yeah. So that happened. Advertisement platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Google, etc., they would ban our advertisements right away, even though they're completely compliant and it's purely framed as education. Education is not allowed. You realize education is not allowed. So we've been through a lot when it comes to that. At some point, it became a game where we're counting how many banks shut us down, and actually it led to a great company culture and a spirit. Because what they don't realize is that by doing that, they actually built up our resilience as founders, as pioneers, as people who want to make this who want to make a change. And that, fast forward to today, of course, we have 4,000 members, 130 employees. It's massive, right? So that was in the very get-go, in the beginning. And so that's fighting spirit is something that became our culture that has been passed on to all our employees, but also to our member base. And so that's why all our community, and we have a almost 70% retention rate, is because they tell us, first of all, in terms of education, it's insanely good what you guys do. But more than that, it's not just a community, it's a movement. I've learned so many things that I wouldn't be able to learn on the traditional media or what people are saying outside. I was able to learn this inside thanks to you guys. So they created a monster.